This is about understanding what is or is not a tax levy, because there's often confusion whether a bill in the California Legislature is a tax levy or not, and what exactly is a tax levy. Now, the most common misconception is that a tax levy is a bill that proposes a tax increase. Well, first and foremost, the determination of whether a bill is or is not a tax levy is determined by the attorneys in the Office of Legislative Counsel. Now, you can readily discern whether there's a tax levy designated because at the end of the bill, it'll have a provision, a standalone section that says this act provides for a tax levy within the meaning of Article 4 of the California Constitution and shall go into immediate effect. So let's start with Article 4. And if we look at Section 8C3 of our state constitution, it says that statutes calling elections, statutes providing for tax levies or appropriations for the usual current expenses of the state, and urgency statutes shall go into effect immediately upon their enactment. This, of course, begs the question of what is a tax levy. And unfortunately, but not surprisingly, the term's not defined in either the state constitution or in California statute or even the joint or house rules of the legislature. Now, that common misunderstanding about a tax increase as a tax levy, it's not always the case. While a tax levy is usually a collection tool by the government, a levy, for example, here a tax levy means a bill that imposes or repeals or materially alters a state tax. Now, a tax levy bill can in fact increase taxes, but a tax levy bill can also reduce taxes. So legislative counsel, they generally define a tax levy as a measure that primarily changes the base rate or burden of a tax. The Office of Legislative Counsel indicates both in the title and the bill is designated as a tax levy. So the title of the bill will contain at the end of the title the phrase, for example, relating to taxation to take effect immediately, tax levy. In addition, the Legislative Council's digest will contain the following statement at the end of the digest. This bill would take effect immediately as a tax levy. So again, it's easy to determine whether or not a bill is a tax levy because the Office of Legislative Counsel does it for us.